guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Grim Brizi, filling in for the Sheik. Very excited to talk about today's episode. This is my favourite time of the year. Well, for me, it's definitely my life all year. But anytime I can celebrate my history with the them species that are out there, always going to be excited to do that. So for all you guys that are toy collectors and like to show off your horror, your scary figures during the time, your love of horror and Halloween, always excited when everyone wants to show off their love for our wonderful culture. So for you guys, we're going to give you a list of the top 10 figures in no particular order. Now, there's a lot of figures that were omitted from this, just for time. This isn't my channel, just sub it in here. So there's a lot more figures that are out there, but we try to give you figures from all different brands, all different price ranges to kind of hit it. I probably will put my favorites at the top, but again, this list is in really no particular order. So for all you guys out there who are looking for some Halloween themed figures to put on display and maybe didn't know about, please let me know what you guys think. At the end of this, hit that like button for sure, showing love for the Sheik that's out there, and always excited, like I said, to stay tuned for the Halloween themed stuff because it is our time. We always love showing it. Today is going to be a ripper of an episode, so please stay tuned to the end, and let's get on with that horror. Starting off, we're going to talk about the godfather of our whole Halloween, and that is Sam Hain. He's been repped in so many different interpretations for you guys out there of different species, but today we're talking about the NECA version, and they do offer two different variations of this figure. Now, you do have Ultimate style figure. It does come with a lot more accessories. It is a harder plastic, but you do have a lot more things. It does fit in with the other figures that you do have. Now, the other version is going to be an 8-inch version, which does come with the cloth goods. And it is also a good figure, and both are really great eye-catching. And back where I'm from growing up, we always had the pieces to represent this figure in our homes. So very excited whenever I can show off our creator to all the other species, but this is definitely one of the best versions of Sam Hain out there to pick up. For all you Star Wars fans that are out there, and there's many, we're in all the different dimensions. Now, we may not like that modern garbo that's out there, but still a big fan of Hasbro, and they do bring us some nice holiday figures, whether it be Halloween or Christmas. You do have some different variations you can pick from. They did take some of our main characters that we do love and employ them with the Halloween deco that you do see in some of these pictures here as we scroll down. So there's quite a lot of figures that you guys can pick from. Most of them are around $30 each, but they're definitely a nice little time to bring out those size Star Wars fan figures to put amongst the shelves and amongst your other figs that you already have. This next set of iconic characters, they come out every holiday around the spooky season to give you your sugary goodness. You guys know I'm talking about Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Booberry. Now, all these figures are finally released the first time in the action figure form. They fit with all your other action figures in size, and they are made by Jada, coming in at $25. Now, all these guys look really good. The glow-in-the-dark features on Booberry, but I do want to point out that these figures are definitely, like, over in the mainland, they're a mockery of the historical icons that they're based upon. So, we don't really like to see them represent our culture, but I know that you guys really look at them as some great monsters to add over in your culture. But for us, it's definitely not someone we take kindly to. But if you're all some nice representations of these serial icons to have on your shelf, especially during the spooky season, then this is definitely going to be the way to go. Alright, this next figure is definitely going to be one of the pricier figures on the list, but also something a bit different coming from an import company, Snail Shell to be exact. If you're a big fan of the anime figures, then this is definitely going to be a company for you. They make a lot of the sexy waifus and anime style figures. So if you're into any of those type of sexy Sheilas to put on display amongst all your figures, for all you naughty little devils out there, it's definitely a line you can get into. They make all kinds of stuff. Snail Shell, they've been around for quite a while. But this figure right here, the Pumpkin Princess that's presented, it does come in at whopping $120. But you do get two different figures. You can put her in her pumpkin mech suit, or you can have her out with her candy goodness to enjoy. So, very nice looking figure, whether all year or just during the Halloween season to bring out. If you're a big anime fan, or me, just like I said, want to have a next little sexy little Sheila right next to you to stare at. Look at those little cherry nips. Real nice. So, this would be a nice addition to bring out Our next figure is another historical icon back on the mainland. A lot of flats will have representations of him lying about as well. It's a story we used to tell back growing up about the dangers of getting so close to the human species. So we're talking about the Headless Horseman here, the story of Ichabod Crane, an evil villain who he was involved in. But he was always a great icon to us, so whenever we can have nice pieces of him to show off, always exciting. And the best version to pick up is going to be the one offered by Mythic Legends. Now this figure does come in two different variations. One offered by Big Bad with glow-in-the-dark features, both of them highly articulated on the horse or on the figure itself. Different head swaps out and just absolutely just a rip-off of photos of all kinds. You can do so many great things with this figure. You can use it in all different lines you like to do. And if you're a huge fan of the Headless Horseman or any figure that has to do with the whole Ichabod Crane storyline, this is going to be the top figure for you to get. The next one is going to be the most expensive figures that's going to be on the list today. I really love these figures, and in person they're absolutely amazing. Now, they're all life-size, so it's basically like having your own child, just in a glass box. And we're talking about Super 7 giant peanut figures. Now, these figures are really, really detailed in hand. They are very, very large, and they do make them in their very traditional Halloween costumes. Now, overseas, where we are, it's a tradition that we do take from your species to watch the Great Pumpkin every year. So, always exciting when I see peanut characters. Now, Super 7 does have a lot of peanut characters that they do make in the reaction line if you're looking for a quite scaled down in price rather than this top $350. But those are very small versus these very life-size style figures. They do make them in their traditional clothing as well. But these are the ones that you can get for the Halloween time to bring out, have them on display, again, all year or just during that time. They look really, really fantastic. Great Halloween deco to have about. And although the price tag is pretty hefty at $350, if you can't afford it, you're definitely going to have one of the best collections out there. Next up is also a pricier figure on the list. It is coming from Mondo. They do top-notch stuff. And this figure is one of the new series they just started and just barely released, called the Nightmare Vessels. Now, these figures here, starting off with the first in their series, is going to be the Halloween 2 pumpkin. Very iconic pumpkin, you guys remember. But inside of this pumpkin is what I believe in your species, the Japanese call Shifubi. So there is a Michael Myers Shifubi inside. It does have different head swap outs as well as some limited forms of articulation, but it also does glow. I do believe the pumpkin also glows as well. So really, really exciting, great display piece, great chatter whenever anyone comes by and see it, whether it's Halloween or you just want to have it on display. But really great during the spooky season and maybe to represent your Halloween Michael Myers fandom. So for $105, not a bad ticket in to one of the best looking figures on your shelf. One of my favorite things growing up when we were young, we used to go down midsummer and all of them just breeding like little turtles. And we're talking about boglins. These little ghoulies are all over the place. And I remember my Grammy making a nice pudding of them. They're real salty, but very, very tasty, especially when you get them towards the end of the summer before winter. They start to fatten up. But for you guys over here, whenever they can make it this way over the pond, you guys do have some options to pick up some of these figures. Now, this one right here is coming from Tri Action, and although they do look pretty familiar, they used to be made a long time ago by Mattel back in the day. Now, these figures have been redone to look, style, and feel like those original figures that are very overpriced nowadays, and these figures fit in just nicely. There's a continuation with a lot more characters that you can choose from right here. I believe I saw in the background, we got the Block of Bones. Very nice there. I love the skeleton one. Nice low to them. They do have a pumpkin figure as well. So these figures can still readily available on online retailers like Big Bad for $45. They do look really, really great on display any time of the year. Spooky little guys. You gotta watch their eyes because they're always watching you. But they are made by the original creator and it's really, really great. So check them out. Tri Action Toys. Great, great little scary figure to have on the display shelf. If you're a horror fan or a boglin ghoulie collector. On the mainland, there's very few iconic historical people that have such big influences from their movements. Then this next one that we're going to see here, she needs no introduction. I believe you know her as Mistress of the Dark. the queen of Halloween. She's the mother of all Halloween. We're talking about Elvira. Now, the best version of Elvira growing up, all the flats and whatnot, like I said, we had statues of her all over. So we're always excited to show a love and appreciation for what she's done for us. I love her so much. Thank you, Elvira, for all that you've done. So if you're a big fan of Elvira, NECA's definitely going to be the one that has you covered. Now, these figures are cloth. They do come in an 8-inch version. They don't have an Ultimates with harder plastic just yet. They fit in quite nicely, and they look very good with many different variants that you can pick up. But they're coming in around $45, and some of them still can be found online. You just need to go give a little check for them. But if you do want the best version of the Mistress on your shelf, looking nice and sassy as usual, NECA is going to be the one for you. Next up, my favourite from the list, and another addition from NECA. Now, these are going to be the Bean Cooper Halloween kids. You just get a bunch of kids in Halloween costumes representing the old, I believe in your species, the Bean Cooper Costume Company. They would make these vintage monster representations of, again, historical people that we looked up to. But you guys would wear them as costumes, so hey, we love it. If it brings the species together, we're always very excited about it. So the Bean Cooper kids are one of the hottest lines that are out there. If you can find them now, they are online, probably on more on the eBay rather than online suppliers. But they are $25 each, and as you can see, there's quite a few that you can pick up, and I do expect the line to continue to grow more. So whether it's Halloween time or all year, it is definitely going to be really great on display, especially if you're doing some nice trick-or-treat scenery to show off to anyone who decides to drop down your spooky little castle. So this, I would say, is my #1 pick of all the figures of today, but all of them are going to be really great representations of Halloween to have on your shelf of all different kinds for you Halloween fans out there. So I reckon we've come to the end of today's video. I've got to get out of here. I want to thank Chic for bringing us down here. Always excited when we can talk about historical icons and share them with any species who are willing to listen, especially around the Halloween time. So hit that like button, I believe they would say, and you know, subscribe and stay tuned for more. I know there's probably some other guests coming for the rest of the month, so very excited for the whole month to share it with all the other interdimensional mortal species that are out there. Again, till next time, you guys stay safe over here. I'm Grim Brizi. Happy Halloween.